So the next step is to paint the house again. Because we have updated the sale price, therefore we can update the color. Remember in the function how we paint the house, we first of all will take the sale prices and then take the logarithm of those prices and then use the outcome and apply the scale color to it so that we can paint different values with different level of redness. That is the paint house. Okay, so now let's move on. Because previously we already asked the realtor to give some valuation for the new house and old house who want to sell now. So how to do valuation of houses? Valuation house is a very big function, so we will divide it into three parts. Okay, let's look at the first part. The first part says that basically the valuation work is to make a reference to the neighboring houses' prices. If the house is going to be valued, have local houses around it, surrounding it, already been sold. So, and those sales records can be accessed by the realtors. Then the realtors can easily give a valuation based on those sales records. If the realtor have no sales record of the neighboring houses being sold, then it has to just based on the sale prices of locality, general sale prices. So how do we do it? Let's look at the first part. The first part says the first step we're going to do is to create a multiplier for the valuation price. The multiplier consists of three parts. The first part is the quality of the house, which will affect the valuation, of course. And then the optimism of the buyer and the seller, and the normalization. Okay, these three parts will formulate the multiplier. And then we will check with the realtors because it is the realtor's job to evaluate the house. The realtors were based on the sales records. Sales is a list of records. And if we use total sets, we can turn the sales, which is a list, into an agent set. With the agent set, we can use functions like with, like ask, which make everything easier. So we will ask every single record of the sales and check the house being recorded in a record which has been sold. So we will access all the records and find the house being sold. And also we will check those sold houses for how close they are to the house we are going to evaluate. If they are close, if they are neighbors to each other, then we will assign these sold houses or we will assign these records about these sold houses to a variable called local sales. Okay, so we get all the surrounding houses has been sold recently, which their selling prices can be accessed by the realtor. So now this will be easier for realtor to evaluate the house. Okay, this is the part one. And inside part one, we have a little language issue, which is what does this sentence mean? This sentence means the house, the distance between this house and this property, smaller than the locality, which is a global variable. Okay, this is part one. Let's look at part two. Part two says since we already got those local houses, now we can begin our evaluation work. We will set the house sale price to be the old price because we're going to give it a new sale price. We're going to give it a new evaluation. So the old price, the current price become old price. And the new price, let's just set it to be 0 for the moment. And if the local sales do exist, which means those surrounding houses has been sold and we have their records, we can check their sold prices. Now we can assign the median price of those records recorded houses. Okay, that's easy. And we set this median price to be the new price. But if the local houses do not exist, then we have to find local houses instead. So what are local houses? Local houses are actually referring back to the neighboring houses to the realtor, because the realtor, ideally the realtor can check the sale records for the neighboring houses to the house we're going to evaluate. Unfortunately, we don't have those records. Therefore, realtors can only check some local houses to itself, because it does not know the local houses of the he does not know very much of the local houses to the house to be evaluated, but it does know its own neighboring houses. Okay, so it will consider its own neighboring houses to be local houses, and then if those local houses do exist, we can take the median price for those local houses and give this median price to as the real price, as the new price for the house on the evaluation. However, if somehow, for some reason, the realtor do not have neighboring houses, then the realtor will just take all the houses under its territory and take the average price and use this average price to be the new price of the house on the evaluation. Okay. Here is another difficult part to understand, which is this sentence. Let's local houses be the houses with distance myself smaller than locality. We know that this myself is not houses. It is the upper level, upper context, which is realtor. So the houses with distance to realtor is smaller than this area. This is why we say the realtor will just checking its surrounding areas for houses and then guess their price and use those median price to be the new price. So this we need to be take noted. So this is the second step. Let's look at the third step. Third step is easier because the difficult job has already been done. Third step says, okay, we have the new price. So let's just guess the multiplier and then guess the final valuation price. So if the old price of the house on the evaluation is below 5,000, then that's easy. We just report the price equal to multiplier multiplies the new price. The new price we just get from the second step. But if the old price is greater than 5,000 and the new price is actually more than twice of the old price, now we just set the new price to be exactly twice of the old price. Okay, this is another way to set the new price. And thirdly, if the new price is less than half of the old price, then we will just make the new price exactly to be half of the old price. And finally, we will report the final valuation using multiplier multiplies new price. So that's how we evaluates a house by the realtor.